Pick up, mate, come on. Don't make me do this. Am I gonna do it? Pick up, mate, come on. Please, pick up. Don't make me do it. Come on, mate.
Yeah. Hello?
Hello? I'm gonna do it. I'm deadly serious.
Oh yeah? What are you planning on doing exactly?
I'm gonna buy a 40 grand camera with finance so I can make cinematic videos.
Don't you work like part-time at a garden centre? You're never gonna pay that back.
Time and a half on the weekends. Yeah.
Okay, look, mate, there's loads that go into making a cinematic video. It's got nothing to do with cameras. So the first thing you're going to need is an idea. You know, what do you want your video to be about? And coming up with ideas can be the tough bit because honestly, sometimes, okay, most of the time, the ideas are not always free-flowing. And you know what? Personally, I find if nothing is cooking upstairs, I'll stop what I'm doing, listen to some music, hopefully drift into creative thought to help find that idea deep within the old mind palace. And if that don't work, I just sort of walk around for a bit until the ideas turn up. You can also seek inspiration from books, art, fashion, photography, and of course, film. For me personally, film is an endless vault of inspiration that I like to dip into on the regular. For camera angles, compositions, lighting, editing style, grading, music, yeah, film kinda has it all. And if that ain't your thing, just draw inspiration from what interests you and have a think about how you can apply it to your own videos while also making sure to put your own little twist on it. And once that idea sparks, write it down or draw it out before it escapes and dashes off. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Get me out of here. A park life.
Yeah. You know what interests me? Magnets. They're proper mad, ain't they?
Yeah, honestly, whatever floats your boat, geezer, you knock yourself out on magnets. Next, I think of locations that can help tell my story, and getting a decent one is the quickest way to add value to your video, assuming it's free, that is. Oh, fuck off, you cannot film here. Leave, fuck off, please, Jesus Christ. Plus, it's a lot easier to visualise how a scene might look once you have a location in mind, which brings me conveniently onto composition and framing. You know, when I'm setting up my camera, I'm always thinking, what's the most visually interesting way I can shoot a scene?
And that is the correct answer. Well done, Stacey from Romford. You're now the proud owner of a Zanussi tumble dryer.
And interesting doesn't always have to be something crazy, like a POV angle. You can make a shot more visually interesting simply by just adding depth through layering. And of course, if that still don't get you excited, you can always just do a crazy POV angle. Yeah, why not? There's also leading lines, frame within a frame. And I personally quite like to dabble in a little bit of negative framing. And, you know, if you're still stuck for ideas, you could always just re-watch your favourite films and, yeah, pinch their ideas instead. I mean, they're the professionals. If you're going to steal from anyone, you might as well steal from them, do you know what I mean? But to be honest, the best method is just to experiment with random angles by cramming yourself into random spots just to see what it looks like. Whoa, man, take it easy. It's not any old lamp, that's bloody cat lamp. Love that thing. Jeez. Oh.
Yeah, what kind of strange spots?
You know, just strange. Mate, where you stick the camera is completely up to you, to be honest. You know, this isn't like school or anything. But if this was school and you were looking for the right answers, then I would say these 3 shot types will cover most scenes. You're going to want a wide shot to establish where we are, mid shot, and a close-up.
Yeah, I mean, static shots are cool, but they're, you know...
Bit bored.
You want something with a bit more panache, I hear ya. Well, there's whip pans, tilts, roll, or gimbal shots if you're feeling fancy, or handheld if you're not, but just make sure the movement is relevant to the scene. Like, intense handheld shots paired with someone just sat in a chair is probably going to be a bit over the top, if you know what I mean, and ain't going to look right. But to be fair, mate, that's just my opinion. And, mate, it is a bit too much, if I'm being honest. I know you're having a fun time and all that, it's just, this isn't working for me, I'm so sorry. Now let me talk to you about lighting. This can often feel like a bit of a dark art, and it's probably the hardest thing you can practice by yourself. But honestly, I think cinematic lighting basically boils down to the contrast you can create with light, as opposed to something that's a bit, I don't know, flat and boring. But the easiest way to get around this is to basically film on the shadow side by putting yourself in between the light and the camera. But let me just contradict myself for just one moment and say, actually, soft light can be very cinematic as well. Also though, lamps.
Lamps.
There, I said it. Lamps are really cinematic. So use them as practicals in your next scene. Plus, it makes where to put your actual light a lot simpler, as you can just put it on the same side as your lamp to motivate where the light's already coming from. You can also use a bit of colour to create some contrast. The easiest way to do this is to look at a colour wheel and pick 2 colours at the opposite end of the spectrum, and then incorporate them into your scene. And for that final bit of je ne sais quoi, add some haze, but use it sparingly. Don't let it get out of hand, otherwise it's going to just start to...
Somebody call his mum, he's had an accident.
That's quite, don't really know what to make of that. Anyway, now that the chaos of filming and haze is done, it's time to put it all together in the edit. And for me, this is my favourite part of the process. And there's 1,000 ways that you can cut your video, but for me, I'm a simple man and I like simple edits. So when I'm putting things together, I like to just do it with straight up cuts. Cuts. Simple cuts. See, nothing fancy. Maybe the occasional match cut for when I am feeling a little bit fancy. And a crossfade when I'm feeling a bit more sad. Now when it comes to music, everyone has a different taste, so I can't really tell you what music to use on your video. But yeah, all I'm trying to do really is find music that helps convey the tone I want to get across to the viewer. And sometimes you'll come across music you didn't expect to use, that creates a pleasing contrast to the visuals you're seeing. I do like what I'm seeing. I like it a lot. Stanley Kubrick used this method a lot in his films, and if you're gonna try and copy anyone, he's not a bad place to start. You know what? I really do quite enjoy this bit. I enjoy it a lot.
What about LUTs? Cinematic LUTs.
Okay, mate, look, I'll ping you over a special one right now. But look, I'll be straight with you. What makes a video actually cinematic means different things to different people. But underneath all the transitions, lighting, camera work, all that, at the end of the day, the story and your idea is still the most important element to your video.
Hello? Are you still there, mate?
Oh, I knew I shouldn't have sent him that fucking LUT.